You gotta, as my mother told me a long time ago, embrace your height. Don't run away from it. So we're gonna get Sonja elected.
Yeah!
There we go. Dog says it all. So I am. Raise your hand if this is the first campaign that you volunteered on. Don't be embarrassed. And I'll tell you, on this campaign, I have talked to a lot of people that this is the first campaign they've ever volunteered on. And that's not just random. That's because Sonja Trauss is exactly the kind of person who inspires new people to come into the political process. Because she actually, in all her years of work and activism, she played a key role in creating a new movement and really tapping into that feeling that so many of us have had for a long time, that why is it so hard to build housing in San Francisco? Why do we make it so hard for people to actually live here and have a future here? And she really unleashed this movement in so many ways, and that's why she has inspired so many new people to come into the political process, and that is amazing. And what you're doing here today is so important. I think a lot of times people think in the political process, what does it matter what I do? You know, it's so much bigger than any one person. Well, I'll tell you, it isn't. It isn't. The number of races for the Board of Supervisors in San Francisco that get decided by 100, 200, 300 votes, it's a lot more than you would think. There's a member of the Board of Supervisors sitting right now who won by a little more than 100 votes. And one person can definitely deliver more than 100 votes. So when you're knocking on doors, when you're talking to voters, when you're trying to persuade that one person or 2 or 3 people to come out and to vote for Sonja, when you combine that with everyone who's here today, that could be more, significantly more than the margin of victory in this race. So this matters, it matters a lot, and it matters to the future of the city. We're in a little bit of a wobbly state right now in City Hall. We elected a great pro-housing mayor. The Board of Supervisors is a little bit on the cusp, and depending on the results in this district and a couple of other districts, we could keep moving forward in a pro-housing direction, understanding that density is a good thing, that transit-oriented development is a good thing, that in-law units are a good thing, that we want to stop the ban on apartment buildings in 70% of this city, which is banned right now. We could continue to move in that direction, or we could slide back to the bad old days, to all the decades in this city of housing policy where people say, you know what, housing is bad, we don't want more housing, let's close the gates. So let's keep moving forward, let's bring this home for Sonja Trauss, let's send her to the Board of Supervisors, and let's win.
Woo!
Everybody. First of all, thank you for waking up on a Sunday morning. This is when most people are still asleep. When on a typical Sunday, we'd be just having a leisurely coffee, reading the papers, hanging out time with our family. So thank you on behalf of the future of our city for what you're doing here today. So this is it. Sonja, how long have you been running this campaign?
More than a year.
More than a year. And so many of you have devoted so much time and energy and political capital to mobilize folks, but this is going to get decided in the next 2 days. And all indications are this is an incredibly tight race. Scott referred to a race where it was won by 100 votes. 100 votes comes down to 2 votes a precinct. So each of you are probably going to walk at least a precinct today. So just think, when you hit 400 doors, if you can convince 2 more people than the other guys are doing, she could win. That is what this is about. This race, as you also know, is about whether the status quo continues or whether we actually get change. Do we not want to build housing, or do we want to build housing? Do we want to figure out how to address homelessness or not? Do we want congestion to remain or not? Do we want public safety issues to remain or not? I'll tell you, for me, I'm excited about Sonja and what we are trying to build here as a pro-housing movement, in part for my kid, who I think some of you saw. He's somewhere over there. But I really, truly wonder in 15 years, when he becomes an adult able to vote, whether he and his generation will have the ability to stay here. And I'm really worried about that. And this election could be that inflection point, could be that time when we say, you know what, we've got to stand for allowing this generation, millennials and others, to have a stake in the city, as well as the kids of those of us who are not millennials. So that's what this is about. I just can't thank you guys enough. We got to just keep pushing, pushing, pushing. This race is not going to be won until 8 p.m. on Tuesday night, and we got to just get there. So, we ready to go?
Yeah.
Ready to go? Yeah. All right. With that, who's going to be the next supervisor of District 6?